Am I the asshole for refusing to help pay for a damaged pool? I'm divorced and my ex has a pool at her house. She recently found out her pool has a leak and it will cost $5,000 to fix, and she asked me if I could cover at least $1,000 of the bill. Her logic is that our sons, 6, 9 and 12, are going to use it all the time when it gets warmer in a few months, so it's not unreasonable for to cover some of it. I asked her if she was going to partially reimburse me for the new trampoline that I bought after the old one broke. She said no, because the trampoline was used every day whereas her pool was used seasonally and therefore was normal wear and tear. And no, I have no idea what she meant by that, so I just know. Not the asshole. Nobody needs a pool at their house, including 6, 9, and 12-year-olds. If she can't afford the upkeep, it's not a necessary expense. Not the asshole. I think your trampoline comparison is fair. And her seasonal, everyday explanation makes no sense. If she had contributed to the trampoline, I'd say it's fair for you to be on the hook for pool upkeep. She didn't, so you're not. And I'm assuming that nothing in your divorce settlement requires this specific support from you. Not the asshole. If you can afford it, put in a pool at your place, because I'm in that kinda petty mood. The pool is included in the value of her house. The trampoline is not something that increases the value of your house. Not really a good comparison, but your ex failed that test anyway. You are not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not giving my niece a stuffed animal? About a week ago, I, 23F, arrived at my parents' house in the Midwest for Christmas. My sister, Kate, 29F, and her daughter, B, newly 6F, arrived a couple days ago right before the storm started. It is currently 20 Fahrenheit, so nobody is going outside until it warms up. B was a handful before the storm rolled in, and now that we're all stuck inside, it's only got worse. I don't do great in the cold. I have some issues with circulation in my limbs, and to help combat it I have a variety of heating options at home. Because I had to travel a few hours to get here, I only have a heated blanket that my parents provided, smaller electric heating pad, and a microwavable stuffed dog. It isn't super easy to move around with the blanket or the pad, so the past couple days I've been using the dog. Last night, my niece noticed that I had it on my lap while we decorated cookies and asked to play with it. I told her no and she got a bit whiny, but we were able to redirect her, so it was fine. Around bedtime she asked again if she could have the dog. I told her no again and tried to explain that it's a special thing that helps me, so I don't turn to ice. She started having a meltdown. Kate asked what happened and I explained. She told me to just give up the dog to make B happy and use a heating pad instead. I told her I wasn't going to do that because I don't want to be using it later and have B think she's entitled to it because she wants to play. Kate said I was being selfish, and that was that. This morning, B was acting out at breakfast and told everyone it was because I was being mean to her and not sharing my toys. I once again told her that it's something that helps me move. That's why she can't play with it. She had another meltdown and my sister is now giving me the cold shoulder. My parents are on my side, but I feel like an asshole for causing drama at an already stressful time of year. Not the asshole. You are right. Your sister is wrong. This one is pretty simple. Not the asshole. Just be more direct. Show her how the dog heats up. Show her that it is for you to feel better. Tell her that it is not a toy. It's like medicine. No one takes someone else's medicine. There, 2 lessons in one. Not the asshole. I'm not a parent, but honestly, if it was just a stuffed animal that you just liked and didn't want her to play with it, that would have also been fine. Cold sweat smile. Not the asshole. Your niece is spoiled and her mum is enabling her. Not the asshole. Your sister is clearly the cause of why your niece acts out. If the solution to your child throwing a fit is to just give them what they want, then they will just continue throwing a fit. I have some little cousins like that, and their parents never say no or discipline them. As a result, they are a terror when they come over and do poorly in school. AITA lied about a miscarriage. Obviously a throwaway, and I know this sounds horrible, but let me explain. After several years of trying for children, we finally gave in and saw the doctor. My husband is fine. My lady bits aren't, to the point that not only am I not having kids, there's almost no option for IVF. It has hurt, but we have finally decided to invest our time into becoming the world's best aunt and uncle. The families felt differently. When are you going as grandbabies, nibblings? We aren't. We can't. After plenty of comments about it happening naturally on a vacation, well, you should see a doctor. We have. You know, there's always IVF, surrogate, adoption. Yes, we know. And no. You'll regret not having kids when you're older. Not as much as I regret this conversation. But my grandbabies. My family has finally given in and dropped it. My in-laws can't seem to comprehend that they're not getting grandkids anytime soon. Maybe because my brother-in-law is gay and the family bloodline is ending. We got together for Thanksgiving, and at the table in front of his grandparents, an aunt, uncle, and 2 cousins came the dreaded comments. "We need a playmate for cousin's kid. When are you guys getting pregnant?" I couldn't take it anymore. I answered, "We already were pregnant twice this year. But I'm not anymore. Thanks for reminding me." It kinda ruined the mood at dinner. I talked about it with my sister and a friend. My sis understands because the in-laws were pressuring so much after we said we couldn't. Of course, her kids are the victims of our spoiling. My best friend said it was a really shitty thing to do and it disrespected anyone who lost a pregnancy. Maybe she's right, but the in-laws have finally given up. Am I the asshole for comparing my failures to get pregnant with a miscarriage? I know it's a greater loss when you're actually pregnant. But I can't take the constant questions, and they finally stopped. Not the asshole, they ruined your mood. It's completely fair to ruin theirs. Maybe they'll learn to keep their mouths shut. I hate people like that. I'm so sorry you had to deal with them. Edit to add. I've miscarried twice and I don't see what you said as being disrespectful to anyone who lost a pregnancy. Not the asshole. I've had a miscarriage and honestly this would only be offensive if you had said it for attention. You did it for the opposite reason and if that's what it takes then that's what it takes. I do however feel like you have dug yourselves a hole. I doubt this will stop them asking for good and if you ever decide to tell the truth then it could be complicated. Am I the asshole for refusing to take a turn hosting our friend Christmas celebration? Hello. Throwaway account for reasons. I have been lucky to have a group of about 10 friends that get together on a somewhat regular basis. As often as adults can get together when they are in their 30s anyway. We all met in college. Every year for the past 10 years, we have had a Christmas celebration either before or after the holidays, depending on everyone's schedule. People take turns hosting. I recently bought a larger house, so it was suggested that I host at mine. I said I didn't think that would be a good idea and have been getting flack for it, and a few people have told me I'm being an asshole. My reason is my dog. I have a large younger dog who cannot stand kids. About half the friend group have had kids in the past few years and there are 6 kids under the age of 5 in the group. I do not see that going well at all. A couple people have suggested that I kennel or put my dog up, but I'm not going to lock a member of my family in my room for hours or pay to have him boarded. I have tried to find a compromise and said we could have our party later in January and make it an adult-only affair if they really wanted it at my house, but that was met with even more pushback. Even though we have had adult-only gatherings at my previous place because of my dog, but apparently Christmas is different. Am I really being an asshole here? I just want everyone to be safe. Edit. I do want to add a couple things because I've mentioned them a few times. 1. My dog was severely mistreated by the children of his first family. He is terrified of children. We have put in a lot of training, and he is a very, very well-trained dog, including crate trained. But there is only so much training can help. We have gotten to the point that he will ignore kids that aren't in his space, or aren't actively approaching him, but that's where he has gotten stuck. 2. I have hosted multiple other times at my house. My friends have had no problem with adult-only gatherings until this time. Our holiday gathering is a potluck. It's very low-key. Not the asshole. Who you host is your own business, and your friends will react according to their own feelings. You don't have to throw a party you don't want to. I do wonder about your inability or unwillingness to put your dog in a separate space for a short amount of time, to be honest. It's not super friendly dog owner behavior, and I hope it doesn't become a wedge between you and friends. And it's kind of human anti-social. Not the asshole. You offered a compromise of adults only at a different date. Honestly for me it's not even about the dog. You could choose to only want to have adult gatherings at your house for whatever reason you choose. Not everyone has to want to host family-friendly events. Nah. Ultimately it's your house. You're within your right to do with it as you please. Your friends aren't asshole either for recognizing you're happy to attend the friend group parties, but not take on the burden of hosting one.